we're gonna turn the table, or turn the conversation rather to Savvy, who I want you guys to get to know, and she's gonna kind of head on with the NCAA segment here. Obviously, a lot going on in that world of sports at the collegiate level, with funding for the secondary sports like us with water polo and volleyball, which she plays, and then also just in a general sense about how we go about taking care of the rest of the season. These seniors just had their seasons ripped away, like Savvy. Possible solutions about that, and what kind of people around Westwood are thinking about it. At least our friends. But anyway, Savvy, I digress. Take it away, yeah, because this is all something that I think we all care about deeply.
Yeah, and then just also, I'll say my whatever I have to say about it, and you guys can just chime in whenever, because I want it to be a conversation. But, Feller, your intro of me today was the nicest thing you've ever said about me. I think the last episode you kind of shit on me a little bit, and that's okay. I wasn't there, but thank you. You were pretty nice today, and I'm actually shocked. But anyways, so obviously everyone knows.
Keep it up. We'll see.
Yeah, thanks, Feller. So, I'll talk a little bit about, personally what happened with me. I was in my senior season of beach volleyball. We were coming off of 2-time national championship, looking for a three-peat, and all of a sudden, we're seeing. I remember it was a Thursday morning, and I went to do a extra, conditioning workout, a voluntary workout, and I sent to my team a pretty passive-aggressive group me message. Hey, if we want to win a national championship, we got to be getting in here and getting after it in the mornings when these things are optional. And 20 minutes later, our season was canceled, and it was just the weirdest morning. And so, personally, and with my team, wow. I think when we got the news, we were sitting on the stairs outside of our athletic training complex, just crying. I think no one really knew what to do. And at that moment, everything just seemed to stop. It started raining outside. It was the most eerie day ever. And it's funny because we ended up going to Ralph's to go pick up booze, go get some Coronas, and there was so many athletes in there whose seasons got canceled. Like, the whole baseball team was in there picking up beer. Everyone just wanted to party, and I think, it was so funny. I like, the whole weekend, it happened on a Thursday, and everyone kind of left school that Sunday to go home because everything was shut down. So that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night was some of the most fun memories. It was just a bender, and everyone just came together and partied together and enjoyed their last time together, because it was a really weird time, and I think we all came together to support each other. And so there's a lot that's come from that. Thankfully, I'm going back to UCLA for a 5th year to compete for beach volleyball, which I'm super fired up about, but not everyone has that opportunity. Baseball and basketball and men's volleyball, there's a lot of those people that don't have the opportunity. I think winter sports didn't get a 5th year of eligibility. So that's brutal, especially for the basketball players going into March Madness. Like, that's terrible. And the basketball team going on the upswing that they were going on, we talked a little bit with Isaac Wolf last week about that, and I just think it's so brutal. But yeah, now there's talk about...
It is brutal.
Yeah, there's talk about Olympic sports being canceled as well, and beach volleyball and men's water polo, sports like that would be the first to go. So I want to get your opinion on that, Feller and Star, as you guys were water polo players. So just tell me a little bit about how you feel about that whole situation.
Star, the one thing I'd say just on a on a general sense is, I'm glad that, out of the pit of despair, which is what we've come to all know and loathe recently, especially with the sports being ripped away. I'm glad that you've found time to hang out and, catch up in your social life with your friends, and I'd say that's awesome. But then I'd also say, what the hell are you doing? We're in the middle of a pandemic, so thanks for spreading COVID. Aside from that, aside from that, Star, go ahead. No, but I Savvy, on the real, I'm with you, and it's brutal, and I really hope that we don't come to a place where the secondary sports are taken away, because people have to. I want people to understand this too, Star and Savvy. A lot of the reason why we can even have a sport, it's not water polo and volleyball aren't bringing in the funds. Okay?
No, they're not.
We love those sports, and I support those sports, but let's just be real. We're not tuning in on Friday, night like for a basketball game, or Saturday for a football game, with water polo and volleyball and gymnastics and these things. And actually, gymnastics is big, so I take that back. But even so, no. And so without a football season, which every single university at a D1 level, right, brings in millions, and maybe billions at certain schools in terms of revenue, and that goes towards funding a lot of not just things for the school on a overall basis, but also for the secondary sports like what we have. So, Star, what do you think about that, dude? Because I love water polo. I love supporting my friends at UCLA who are in other sports, but I just can't look. Water polo has been such a big part of. It's how we met, but it's also been a big part of my life since I've been in college, and I'm so thankful to be a part of such a great program. But I can't even imagine what life would be like for any of us, but especially the people who are still playing, at least on the team, who are like my guys. And if their sport was gone, I can't even imagine going through a school year without my sport that I love.
Yeah, so for me, obviously, I'm in the same boat as both you guys. Water polo has been a massive part of my life, and I never would have made it out to California and met all you guys without it. So, I mean, it would have been devastating to not have the opportunity to play that sport and, make it to a university because of it. And like you said, yeah, there's guys right now in these programs all over the country and some of these smaller sports programs that, could potentially lose out on their final years or lose out on ever having the chance to play their sport at the collegiate level again. So it is really, it's definitely something to worry about. Now, we did have news this morning that the Ncaa Division I Council has denied the request to temporarily waive the minimum number of sports required to be considered a Division I member. And they also delayed a decision on allowing all college athletes to have immediate eligibility one time after transferring this year. So those have been denied and delayed, but from what I understand, there still is a potential for those guidelines of what it takes to be considered Division I member. There's still potential that they may change and soften up. So I do feel that some of these sports are still possibly in jeopardy.
For sure, and that's huge news. Wow.
Yeah, again, I also just want to remind our audience that just with the pandemic and everything transpiring around the world right now, we're broadcasting from different regions of the country. Stars back east, and then me and Savvy are in different locations on the West Coast. So it's going to be tough just with the overlap and the delays. So just again, bear with us on that. We apologize. God, I can't wait to get back into studio because it's frustrating. But I was going to say, basically, it's going to be great to hear from Joe. I mentioned earlier, lifelong friend of mine, Joe Capris, catcher for the Pepperdine Waves, will be joining us later on in the show. And he's a senior, and he's a spring sport, so he didn't even get an opportunity to start playing yet. And that's devastating. So I really am looking forward to having him on and getting to hear what he has to say. I think we should leave it there. I really hope that, come next year that we can still have a season.